Hey, I'm Allison from Learning at the Primary Pond. I'm a literacy specialist, and in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 great activities for teaching cause and effect. Before we get into it, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, make sure to do that now and hit the little bell so that you're notified every time I post a brand new video about teaching literacy in K2. Okay, so let's begin with some kid-friendly definitions of cause and effect. Cause is what makes something happen, and then effect is what happens. Now, most of the time we hear people say cause and effect, but I actually think that it's easier to begin with the effect and then look backwards to find the cause, especially if kids are looking for examples in an actual text. So has anybody ever thought of it that way? If you've ever thought of effect then cause, or taught it like that, in the comments right now, just type effect then cause. Curious if you have ever taught it this way as well. But okay, so let's take the example of a popsicle that's dripping. A student is going to see the popsicle and they're not going to think, oh, the sun melted the popsicle, so therefore it's dripping down. To stop the cause of this, I'm going to go inside to move away from the sun. No, the kid's just going to think, yikes, I better hurry up and eat this, or I better, go somewhere in the shade. Normally in our day-to-day lives, we tend to see the effects and react to them more than we necessarily think about the causes. And this is true when we're reading text or when our students are reading text. So if we read about a character who's feeling sad, the first inclination would be to ask, how is the character feeling, right? That's the effect. But then to figure out the cause, we have to work backward. Why is the character feeling sad, right? So that's why it can be really helpful to think of it as effect, then cause. So let's go ahead and get into these 5 activities. So rather than when we're teaching cause and effect, beginning by having our students list out 2 examples of cause and effect from a text, we need to start off a little bit more slowly and give them the cause and effect and kind of have them work with those before they're asked to come up with examples of cause and effect on their own. So here's an example. This is from my 2nd grade Decodable Safari resource, and it is from a passage about the Indian elephant. So students would read the passage first, or you could always read it to them or with them. And then after that, they cut apart these little strips. And on these strips are causes like the elephant is hungry or the elephant is thirsty. And then there's effects like it takes a bath, it eats some grass. So they have to cut these out and paste cause and effect. And you can do this in a variety of different contexts. It could be fiction, it could be nonfiction, but you're giving the kids the cause and effect, and the kids are, organizing them accordingly, putting them into a graphic organizer. Okay, so activity number 2 is actually pretty similar to activity number 1, but it's just a different way to go about it. Can be super great for whole class or small group, really hands-on. And in this activity, you take some kind of pocket chart. See how I've labeled cause and effect here? And after you read a text with kids, then you have pre-prepared these statements like, Peter took the snowball inside. Can you guess what story this is from? One of my favorites. And then the snowball melted, right? But you have these kind of mixed up. And so the kids don't know what are the causes and the effects. And so you, of course, talk to them what is cause and effect, but then they have to tell you, or they have to actually come up and physically place. Okay, so the snowball melted, that's the effect, and then the cause was Peter took the snowball inside. So just like with the graphic organizer example, you are giving them the cause and effect. This is again a good stepping stone as opposed to just telling them to come up with examples of cause and effect, and then they are categorizing them. So this is super fun, and you can also, let me get into activity number 3, you can extend this and read a story like If You Give a Mouse a Cookie. Laura Numeroff, I believe, is the author. There's tons of books like that, which you probably already know. But you could, as a class, have the kids help you write the cause and effect on sentence strips. And then as a center or a follow-up activity, you can mix them up. And then all across the floor or across you'd have to have a really big table, the kids can put, here's the cause, here's the effect, here's the cause, here's the effect. Because in those books, if you give a mouse a cookie, it's like a chain reaction, right? This happens, and then this happens, and then this happens. So they can basically take these sentence strips that you prepare or that you work as a class to prepare and spread them out on the floor to look at that long chain of cause and effect. Okay, so moving right along to activity number 4. This one is great for when you've already done some things like the graphic organizer or working with cause and effect on sentence strips, and the kids have had opportunities where you give them the cause and effect and they're like sorting them, matching them, all that good stuff. So this is a little bit more challenging. In this activity, you have a text and it's like, a printable passage or whatever, something that students can write on. And they take 2 different colors and they highlight the cause or causes in one color, and then they highlight the effects in another. And again, I feel that it's a little bit easier for them to start with the effect. So you might want to have them look first, okay, like let's find these effects and then let's go back and look at what the cause is. And sometimes there will be just one main cause and effect in a text. Sometimes there will be more than one. Obviously, if you're doing this for the first time, you might want to go with a text that only has one cause and effect, and then you can build up, make it a little bit more complex from there. But this is a fun way to get kids engaged in physically finding like text evidence of here's the cause and here is the effect. Okay, so the last activity idea I have for you is to use nonfiction texts, especially biographies. So it's fun to start a cause and effect unit with a book like If You Give a Mouse a Cookie or something like that. Like fiction is great for teaching cause and effect, but interestingly, biographies are good too, because so many times there was something in someone's life that inspired them to do something or resulted in a challenge for them. So cause and effect is usually present in pretty much any biography that you'll read or read to the kids. And some questions you might ask are, why is this person so special? Why do you think someone wrote a biography about this person? And then that could, lead to the kids coming up with some examples of effects. And then you can go back in the biography to figure out like, what was the cause of this? What inspired them to do this? Or what, created this challenge for them? Why did they do great things? So biographies are actually a really good tool for working on cause and effect. Earlier in the video, I showed you this example from my Decodable Safari resource. These are nonfiction, highly decodable texts for kindergarten, first grade, and second grade students. We work on cause and effect, but also a lot of other skills in them. I will include a link with this video so that you can learn more about this resource. I know that nonfiction decodable texts can be hard to find, so that was a big factor in wanting to create these. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.